wanted to clear the myth because you hear stories like they can live past age 18
Yes.
and all that. But when we started many years ago, we started at the Kolebo Sickle Cell Clinic and we shot a documentary. And then they brought their oldest patient who was like 90 plus. Then we met another 70 plus. They realized that, oh, there's so much hope. So happier stories have been the fact that we've done lots of projects over the years. And the smiles on the faces after the project, that is the highlight of it for me. It's been, you know, and the fact that we have done screening, over the years, and we've been to schools, and then we've picked up, children with SCD that they didn't know. And then we just laced them with the Kolebo Sickle Cell Institute. That was where we started from. And it was really very okay for us because they didn't know that that was what they had. Now they know. So we feel that because we're creating more awareness, we are letting people know more about SCD, and we're encouraging people to go there and check their sickling status.
Now, off the back of what you just said, Doc, I want to ask something. So you see, she said that people come and they're being treated, but they didn't know that this is what they were dealing with, right? What are some of the signs and symptoms that, you know, if people are watching right now,
then they should look out for.
They should look out for, because they may be experiencing it and may have been experienced for a while, but don't know that this is what it is.
Okay, so generally the hallmark of sickle cell disease is pain crisis. I'm sure a lot of us have heard crisis, crisis, and all those things. And so it's as a result of the fact that the abnormal hemoglobins causes the red blood cell to lose their spherical nature to become more like banana shaped or sickled. That's where the name is from. And so this leads to a risk of them sticking together and blocking the very tiny blood vessels that we have in our blood. And so this causes severe pain in the bones, the joints, chest, stomach, and all of that. So that's the hallmark of sickle cell disease. And because a blood disorder, you have increased breakdown of the cells because they are defective. And so they have anemia, and so they are tired all the time. If there's increased breakdown of the cells, what happens is that the body deposits the products, and so they have yellowing of their eyes, it's called the jaundice. And so
jaundice.
if you're having a child,
even as an adult,
Yes.
Because of the constant, the body is in a constant state of breaking down the cells, because it keeps identifying it as defective. So those are two main hallmarks of sickle cell disease. The others like delayed growth. So you realize that they said he's an 18-year-old, but he looks 9.
Yes.
You know, that's also one. And because of the complications that are associated with this disease, you have other manifestations like strokes. You have like priapisms. You have leg ulcers, kidney damage. You can even have heart problems, lung problems. The list is endless.
Right, that's quite unfortunate. But the question is, how can people living with this manage it? You know, she talked about her uncle and that he's still living, and she talked about the oldest patient in Kolebo. You understand? I feel like if you know how to live with it, you can manage it for a very long time. But if you don't know, you understand? So tell us, how can people manage it?
Okay, so first you need to know you have the disease anyway. You do that by testing. Like I said, the hallmark is the pain crisis. There are certain things that trigger this crisis. Commonest is the extremes of temperature. So following rainfalls, very cold temperature, it can cause the pain crisis. And you have things like infections can trigger the crisis. Even stress, when you're just too tired and you're not managing it well, can trigger the crisis. So typically we say avoid, we teach you the triggers and we teach you how to avoid them. So how to live cleanly, eat well, and all those things to prevent yourself from triggering this crisis. How to not stress your body too much, to also avoid getting these triggers. So we teach you how to do it, and we always encourage that living a normal life with sickle cell disease is very much possible. Like she mentioned, the oldest patient that I have personally managed at the clinic is 95 plus.
Wow.
Okay, on Tuesdays, which is today, from here I'm going back to the clinic.
Wow.
And sorry, without the pains, right?
Yeah. So she is now also, things that are associated with old age are there. But yes, a normal life with sickle cell disease is possible. From here, I'm going to clinic. We have an elderly clinic on Tuesdays, and we see people age 55 and above. The place is full by now, I'm sure.
I have an auntie who is actually like almost 75, and she's been living with it all her life.
Really?
It's very much possible. That's one of the things we want people
when you
to
see
know.
her, she actually doesn't even look her age. You know, and I suspect it's also because of the condition, she's taking better care of herself than ordinary people would. You know, so she looks very healthy, very young. compared to,
exactly.
So that means the myth of lifespan has been, erased right now.
Yes.
So there's nothing
We
like
want
your
people
lifespan
to
is
know
80,
that,
18 years or 12
there's
years,
been
yeah?
so much advances in clinical care, newer therapies and all of that, newer medications.
Right.
So you're not going to die as a young
Right, but
you
you're talking about, newer medications and newer technology and all of that. Is there a way, like maybe two people meet and they both realize, okay, look, we're AS. Is there a way to still choose, like, I don't know, technologically choose out the eggs and know which one is going to be that? Because I've heard something like that before, but I don't know how
we
it
never
works.
say never in medicine.
Yeah.
But for now, especially in our context in Ghana, we focus more on prevention. So we don't want two people who have a risk of likely to have a child with sickle cell too. I mean, in the advanced world, there are things like gene deletion and all those things where they can edit those ones out. But yeah, we are struggling with certain basic things. But all those ones carry some form of risk and all of that. So we focus more on prevention in our
So
plans.
in terms of if two people really, discovered after they've fallen in love, basta. It's like, Charlie, this one, dear, we can't do anything about it. We are too in love to walk away from this. They can actually do IVF, can't they?
Well, yes, like I mentioned.
But the IVF might be.
It is possible.
That's a lot of stress.
And it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Very, very expensive.
Very, very
Just one
expensive.
cycle of IVF alone.
I like the way Sandra is shaking her head.
Wondering
how much in love can you
be?
Exactly.
So
to put somebody else at risk.
we have seen a lot of experiences, homes being wrecked, because of sickle cell. I remember there was this couple that even the doctors advised, and then AS, and then they kept on saying Yamebeye, that sort of thing.
Yes.
I said, why'd
No,
you
I have some in my family.
why'd you have to put God to test?
Yeah.
And then when you do the permutation, you can have AS, SS.
Yes.
And then they were like, God will do it, and then they went ahead. 3 children, all SS.
Oh, that's
yes,
a
and
lot.
then I think somewhere about 2 years ago, one of them passed on.
My nephew and niece, both SS.
And
It was the same situation
Yes.
where it was.
And
Yes.
to just
trust
to
God to
clarify
do it,
something that Sandy said, a lot of people think that when we do the permutation, if I have 4, only one.
Only
will be
one.
sick. It is
doesn't
if
work
you're
like that.
AS,
No, it doesn't work
with
like
every
that.
pregnancy, there's a 25% chance.
Yes.
And people should remember that it's not the burden is not just on the individual and the family. It places a lot of pressure on the limited resources.
Yeah, wait, so talking about this Nyamibeya issue, right?
No problem.
Wait, talking about this issue,
Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, I was AS. And when we prayed, one day we went to check, I became AA. Please help us explain.
But this one, you have entered into another room.
This is a different realm.
You have entered into another
Why
realm
I'm
now.
asking is that some people say when they tested today, they were A something else, or maybe they were something else. And then some years later, they tested again. So what happens? What changes?
Okay, not to doubt the supernatural.
No, maybe it's not supernatural, but maybe technology
So
is
there
now
are different testing modalities.
Yeah.
Okay, so the very basic is what we call the Sickling test. That just tells you have an S. It doesn't really tell you AS,
doesn't
SS,
differentiate.
And then we have something called the HB electrophoresis that can, and we have higher forms like the HPLC that gives you the percentages.
Yes.
So we always say that before you can actually come out and say, oh, we changed and everything. And also we have laboratories, you can have laboratory errors. So we need to really
exactly, because
look
today
into
somebody's
these
like, I'm
things
this,
before.
or maybe they even get married and she's sure that she's, AA or something.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow, then something happens.
And
They're
other
AS.
things too, like blood transfusions can affect some of your results. So if you've been given blood, say 2 months ago, and you go and check, because of the circulating blood in your system.
Yeah.
So there are so many
Serious?
factors that affect.
Yes.
In fact,
these
talking
things.
about that, I wanted to ask you, because I understand that some of the therapies that are available now are like blood transfusion if it's a child of a certain age. Is that possible? Because there was a consideration for my nephew and niece to possibly do a bone marrow,
Bone marrow transplant.
transfusion thing. Where are we with that? And how They never did it, by the way, but
It's a
I mean,
consideration,
it's a
yeah.
consideration.
So I think what you're saying has two parts.
Okay.
So a part of the management of sickle cell is what we call chronic transfusions,
Okay.
where because your body's in a constant state of breaking down your red blood cells, we need to be supporting you with blood from time to time. And then there's the bone marrow transplant aspect, which is more like a potential cure for the disease,
Okay.
where if you have somebody whose bone marrow matches and does not have sickle cell,
Yeah.
typically a sibling or a parent or something, we're able to do the transplant.
Okay.
But again, one, it's not available in our parts. It's super expensive.
A lot of
Super
things are not
expensive.
available.
Yeah, it's
So it's
super
better to avoid.
expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has so many risks.
By the
So
way,
many
my nephew
risks.
and niece I'm talking about, they don't live in Ghana. They
No,
live in
no,
England.
no. I'm
So-
just talking about us. Yeah.
So even the
Yeah.
consideration, the
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
came up because they are not in this
Ghana,
jurisdiction. You know.
The risk, associated risks are a lot. You first need to find somebody who matches, jump over the economic hurdle, and also look at, even after the transplant, it can fail.
Yeah.
It's not
You
100%
don't have to
success.
go there.
There's graft-host interactions
all
where
those
your body
things.
can react
And
to
after
what,
surgery, kind of care to.
you know, your body
Yeah.
reacts to the thing as a foreign body. Okay, there's somebody new here. Attack,
Wow.
attack.
I'm having goosebumps.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
many things. So we will say let's prevent. Let's not get there.
Yeah.
Preventable.
Sandra,
Yes.
talk to us about some of the upcoming projects that you're
Okay, maybe I'll just go. So normally every year, June 19th is World Sickle Cell Day, and then the month of September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So the foundation is really busy these 2 months. This year's June, just this Friday, we had to observe ours because that project was dedicated to our late administrator. We actually lost him on the 19th of April this year.
Oh, sorry.
He got his
Sorry.
crisis and couldn't make it.
Oh,
So it was a big blow to the foundation. So quickly, I had to do this project to dedicate to him. And we screened, so we're at the Shelter for Abuse Home facility in Osu. We screened over 100 school children. And then there was a lot of awareness. We had a lot of dignitaries and guests passing through to talk about. So he's somebody that I work with. Yes, he's part of my team. And it went very well. We've done a lot of screening over the years. We've been in the street to do education. I've worked with Kaya girls. Like we are all over the place. So because you'll be shocked to know that even the elite in the society, some don't even know what sickle cell is, or they don't know their sickling status and all that. Upcoming project, coming Saturday at Tank Palace, we are having a sickle cell conference.
Okay.
So I want to use this opportunity to invite everybody to come, and there'll be a blood drive as well. On the 19th of June itself, we are collaborating with the institute, Kolebo Sickle Cell Institute.
Okay.
We are having a symposium, a conference, and then we're having a blood drive. And then September will be busy. The whole month will be creating a lot of awareness. So ChannelOne will be back here again.
Yeah.
If you invite us, we're back here again. So these are some of the things that we have lined up, you know, because we believe, with the GNS Foundation, we believe that, I mean, this is something that is so preventable.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait to get vet to do bone marrow, etc. I mean, look,
You don't have to be that much in love.
you know, the love is important, but you know what? That is going to wreck that love, you know.
I say that as soon as
Or
you
maybe
start to
choose
feel
other ways of
No, no,
having children,
as
maybe
soon as-
adoption or something. If,
Well,
yeah,
okay, there's
yeah.
that. But I also feel that, listen, as soon as you start feeling that, the way my heart is feeling, I can easily fall in love with this person. Check the blood.
So
group.
what we do,
So to get ahead of it, just say you first need to know yours.
Yeah.
yes.
Know
You know yours.
Yeah.
And so some of these days, some of the trends on social media is first date questions.
Yeah.
I believe a very valid first date question is what is your genotype?
Yeah. What
So
is
you-
your genotype?
so
Know
so
it.
Yeah.
if I am AS,
Yeah.
for instance,
Yeah.
and you are coming in and you are AC or
Yeah.
or AS2,
Yeah.
then
You know
already
that
I know.
The love
Problems
language
So we
has
don't
to
even get
change.
there.
The
Yeah.
love language
No,
has
but
to
you are
change.
AA and AS, so.
No,
No,
I
no,
said
no.
if I'm AS and I meet somebody who is
okay,
AC
Okay.
or
So,
also
so
AS.
just to
Yeah.
chip in, when we do, after creating the awareness and we do the screening, we do cards for the people that we screen. So it's like an ID card. It has your
Okay.
name
Okay.
and then your sickling
And then your
status.
your
So now
genotype,
we
yeah.
say, when you meet the man, what's your
Show them.
genotype? This is my ID card. What's
What's
yours?
yours?
Yes, before you
That's
even
good.
start talking
That's
love. So
good.
now they
That's
know
good.
and they have the card. They should
That's
keep
good.
it with them
Yeah.
and they understand the condition. So
important.
that's what we do.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you
right.
so much. And we wish you well. Wish
Thank
all
you.
the best. I think it's fantastic that what you're doing. All right. And people really need to know. Because 2%, we can bring it down to 1%.
Yeah.
And bring it down even lower.
Good starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's all about awareness,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
everybody knows. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So reiterating, like Sandra said, on next week, Wednesday, 19 June, the Kolebu Teaching
Yeah.
Hospital Sickle Cell
You're
Clinic. There's a
invited.
blood drive.
Okay.
All
We
right.
need blood for people, so
Oh,
please
yeah.
do also join us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we want to say a big thank you to Sandra Amponsa Aivo. She's the Executive Director for GNS Foundation, as well as Dr. Kobna Opon Amoako. He's the Medical Officer, Ghana Institute of Clinical Genetics at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. This was a fantastic conversation. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
In the realm of national discourse, where every question demands an answer, one show stands out: Face to Face. Face to Face cuts through the noise and goes straight to the heart of the matter as your host confronts personalities in politics, governance, society, and business on the topical issues facing the country.
You have to be graphic. They strip everything, they're just in their boxer shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Was that how you were treated?
That's exactly how I was treated. I had to put off everything that I was wearing, and then
And remain in your boxer shorts.
they gave us some boxer shorts, which were just dumped somewhere, and then they just give you one to wear. I'm wondering whether it was even washed.
What you've given us is not perfect. That's failure.
I didn't see perfection in the MPP manifesto.
Oh, you give us perfection. You said that by the time there are so many things we can use to describe perfect. For
Let's
instance,
not do this.
No.
Let's pick specific
Yes.
examples.
The overall agenda
and
of the
measure.
manifesto.
Yeah. So
was
so perfection.
an agenda for jobs.
Perfection was not in the manifesto.
You
For example,
were going
when
to
you say
perfect
jobs,
Ghana,
when
weren't
you
you?
say jobs, when you say jobs.
Hold on, no. Let's settle this issue of perfection.
Okay.
What you promised us is a perfect Ghana.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
And I'm not using perfect because you wrote the word perfect on the manifesto.
In all humility.
But if you said to us, Honorable,
In all
if you said to
humility,
us
yeah.
that you are going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa,
Yes.
that is perfect.